Hello and welcome back. Ooh. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So every now and again I learn something or realize something or read something that actively changes my perspective on everything that's happened so far in my life. And this is one of those things, and I really want to share it with you because it has been probably one of the most helpful ways of thinking that I have encountered. So we are largely a product of our environment, and we make assumptions and connections and associations just like any other animal. But what makes humans very different to animals is that what also plays a big effect on our experience of the world is how we actually define ourselves. So I want you to imagine two lists, first of all. The first one is a list of words that you would use to define yourself. So you may use words like nice, friendly, loyal, ambitious, things like this. The second list would be actions, behaviors, or attitudes that you associate with words in the first list. For example, a nice person would help others, and a friendly person probably has a lot of friends and smiles a lot, and a loyal person sticks up for people or supports their team, and an ambitious person probably works hard and has big dreams. Okay, so that's not news to any of us, but there are two things that are worth pointing out here. The first is that we are very unlikely to use negative words when we are defining ourselves. If you ask someone about their character, it would be highly unlikely, though not impossible, that they would describe themselves as selfish, mean, and a bully, for example. They'd more likely say that they were independent, straight talking, and feisty, because these are seen as more positive words. So we all have words that we use to describe ourselves, and these are generally limited to words that we have positive connotations with. We want to think of ourselves in a positive light. We then all also have behaviors or attitudes or actions that we associate with these words. And therefore, in order to be nice or ambitious or feisty, we have to adopt the behaviors or the attitudes that we associate with these words in order to fully embody them. For example, if society has taught you that being sexual and being nice are two opposing ideals, then you're likely to feel that you're compromising your niceness by being sexual. If we've been taught that friendly people don't make other people sad, and you see yourself as a friendly person, then you're unlikely to be confrontational even if that particular situation requires it. And this goes for any label, even ones that other people use. Because we're human, we have so many associations with words. That is what language is. We have people and memories and TV and films all defining these words for us every single day. So firstly, everyone's associations of these words are going to be different because everyone's experience of the world is going to be different. And secondly, by labeling ourselves, even as positive things, we are building walls for ourselves to live within. So what do we do with this information? Well, try this exercise. So open up a Word document of some sort, and I want you to type out at least 5 words that you would use to define yourself. It doesn't matter if you see these as positive or negative things, just 5 words that you would use to define yourself. Below these words, write down any behaviors, actions, or attitudes that you associate with these words. It can help to think of other people. So if you've written kind, for example, think about someone who's ridiculously kind and write down what actually makes them kind. Okay, now underneath that, I want you to write down what that person wouldn't do. So for example, if you've written happy, they probably wouldn't be cross or shout. So have a look at what you've written now. What you've written is essentially a subconscious rule book for how you have lived your life up to this point. Anytime you want to break free of these labels, you are essentially compromising your core way of seeing yourself. This can lead to 2 things. Firstly, your actions, behaviors, and attitudes are dictated by these things that you've written down. And secondly, you'll find that you're frustrated by what you think your behaviors, actions, and attitudes should be. So what can we do about this? It's difficult, and I'm not suggesting it isn't, but we need to try and define ourselves without using these words, because words are just too loaded. We need to be free to act and do whatever we need to do in any given situation. And I'm not suggesting that we break down our moral code either, but a moral code runs a lot deeper than just, I will not murder because I am nice. Really focus on how we are all changing, growing, adapting things. Just like our age is different every single second, how we define ourselves and the associations we have with those words will constantly be changing. They are literally walls preventing us from being who we need to be. I hope that made some sort of sense. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments. And I hope that was useful to somebody out there. Just to quickly introduce myself in case we haven't met, my name is Carmen Elaine, and I mainly do minimalism and ethical living videos, but occasionally sprinkle in a little bit of the deeper stuff every now and again. If you're interested in the same things as I am, please, I would love it if you would subscribe. And thank you to those who are already subscribed. You have made my week. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.